So the question is, how can the construct of neuro-agility help you? And in the first place, as an individual, in terms of personal development, self-development, there's really a lot that this construct can assist you as an individual, or you in relationship with your spouse and with other people, or as a parent. It can also assist you significantly. We offer the Neuro-Agility Brain Profile Assessments and the Brain Agility Booster Program as learning solutions for individuals, couples, and parents to help them in the first place identify their potential. In other words, we have a look at your neurodesign, and your neurodesign are the brain-based elements that influence how you prefer to think, learn, and to process information. But your neurodesign is an indication of who you can be. And it's very important for people to create accurate self-awareness about who they are, because who we are will determine what contributions can we make in this world, and our gifts and our talents can be made available in our world to help others also become better versions of themselves. But in the first place, we need to always start with ourselves. The Neuro-Agility Assessment is a great tool to help you discover how you are talented and how you are smart. It shows you how you process information and what your potential risk for human error is. And if you then use the learning solutions, you minimize your risk for human error. Then, in terms of developing brain fitness and brain health, that is the key to us really being the best versions we possibly could be. And there are many drivers that impact the ease, speed, and flexibility with which we learn, think, and process information. But it is crucial, if we really want to be better versions of ourselves, we need to, one, develop brain fitness. In other words, increase the ease and speed with which we think, learn, and process information. But then we also need to optimize our mental flexibility. It's sometimes also referred to as cognitive flexibility. And that means we need to be people who can be logical and creative at the same time. Not logical or creative, but logical and creative, so that we are able to execute any learning and thinking functions expected of us in new first-time changing situations. When we develop ourselves, we discover our potential, and we change potential into competence by developing appropriate skills. We improve our confidence. Confidence is not about having an inflated ego. It is all about being confident in who you are. But then we need to be accurately aware of the names of our gifts and our talents, and how we are talented and how we are smart. When we understand who we are, and we also understand who the people with whom we stand in relationship with, who they are, it really helps people to establish much stronger relationships with each other. Because the moment we discover who someone else is, and we learn to respect that, even if that's very different from who we are, it really brings us closer to that person. Now, communication is one of the greatest human skills that helps us to solve problems and to establish strong relationships with other people and to resolve conflict. And if we understand, we all communicate, but in different ways. But how do you prefer to communicate? And how can you improve that? It has a massive impact on you becoming just a more effective person in terms of relationships and collaborating with other people. So on a personal level, Neuro-Agility has much to offer to individuals. Another question is, how can Neuro-Agility help professionals in the industry of people development to really improve the impact that they have when they work with other people? So if it comes to professional development, we talk about professional development for coaches, for learning and development practitioners, for therapists, counselors, and teachers. We provide online certified Neuro-Agility practitioner training for people development professionals like coaches, learning and development practitioners, performance improvement professionals, therapists, counselors, and teachers to become users of our Neuro-Agility assessments and our Brain Agility Booster learning solutions. This enables them to purchase Neuro-Agility assessments from us, do one-to-one debriefings, and offer online brain optimization learning solutions to their clients. Becoming a practitioner will enable people development practitioners to help their clients identify their unique neurological design. In other words, identify their unique potential, and that answers the question of who they are. It also helps professionals to identify and develop the talent in other people. Also improving brain performance, which means including brain fitness and mental flexibility, and also reducing risk for human error. So there's much to benefit for professionals in becoming Neuro-Agility practitioners and to become part of the Neuro-Agility community, which is a group of people who are really passionate about developing agile people who is going to thrive in the future and obviously also today. But then also, how can Neuro-Agility be of benefit to business entrepreneurs? So if we look at business development for coaches, consultants, assessments, and people development companies, we offer them the opportunity to conduct business with Neuro-Link's assessments and learning solutions. We offer those business opportunities to these coaches, to consultants, business consultants, assessment companies, and people development companies to train, to market, distribute, and to sell NAP assessments and learning solutions to generate revenue. They are licensed to create a lucrative business hub by recruiting business partners and practitioners. By becoming a business partner, it enables them to, one, purchase large volumes of NAP, Neuro-Agility Profile Assessments, and learning solutions at discounted prices, to resell NAP assessments and learning solutions, to create a Neuro-Agility community of people development professionals who are passionate about people development. We also offer to our business partners practitioner training, so they become the go-to people who conduct practitioner training with the people that they recruit in their areas. And a business partner can also license other business partners in their regions to conduct business with the instruments and learning solutions that we have created. But when we look at organizational development, in other words, what can Neuro-Link do for organizations? In the first place, when it comes to talent selection, the Neuro-Agility assessments and learning solutions can be used with great impact in the sphere of talent selection. Professionals in talent selection will be able to use our NAP assessments to select neuro-agile candidates, in other words, people who are high potentials and who learn faster, easier, and are more mentally flexible than others. And it's important to remember here that Agile people has become a differentiating factor in successful organizations because they can adapt and adjust fast and easy and be able to access all the mental functions necessary in new and stressful situations. And that makes them very successful, very competitive, and it helps them thrive in disruptive change. So cognitive flexibility has become like a secret ingredient necessary for people to really be successful today and in the future. But also, our Neuro-Agility assessment helps talent selection professionals to determine the neurophysiological elements of potential that influence how people naturally think, learn, and process information, which is, in our terminology, always referred to as neurodesign. And being able to determine people's neurodesign will provide valuable insights about the candidate's thinking, learning, and communication preferences, their potential risk for error, how they are potentially talented, and the natural default mode that they usually prefer functioning in when exposed to increased complexities and disruptive change. The Neuro-Agility assessments also assist talent development experts in aligning people's neurodesign with the job functions and team roles that they perform to improve engagement, workplace happiness, wellness, and performance. And then the Neuro-Agility assessments also assist your talent selection professionals to build job profiles to select the right candidate for the right position, increasing workplace effectiveness, engagement, happiness, and wellness. So the NAP has great value to talent selection professionals. But if we look at the next slide, we also see that the Neuro-Agility assessments have great value to talent development experts. And often with your talent development experts goes the learning and development practitioners who help to develop that talent. So professionals in talent development will be able to use our NAP solutions to, in the first place, accurately identify potential and then develop people. In other words, we understand it's an indication of who they can be, but also provide suggestions of how we can help people become better versions of themselves, how they can improve their brain fitness, how they can optimize their mental flexibility, and so forth. So identifying potential is the starting point for talent development, and it also assists your talent development experts to create personal development programs, PDPs, that gives you an indication of how we can assist new candidates in the workplace to improve their performance and become valuable assets to the organization. Our Neuro-Agility solutions also assist talent development experts in performance improvement, and performance optimization professionals will be able to identify current levels of individual and organizational neuroagility, and it enables the workforce to improve their overall brain performance, helping them improve neuroagility and productivity. The NAP and our learning solutions significantly contributes towards developing high-impact leaders, or also differently stated, neuro-agile leaders. It's a great point of departure for developing agile leaders based on the accurate understanding of a leader's neurological design. Leaders and managers will have a clearer understanding of their ability to take effective action in complex, rapidly changing situations. The Neuro-Agility assessments gives us an indication. It brings an accurate awareness to people of how they are talented, how they are smart, and what their potential looks like. And that is the starting point for developing an emotionally intelligent workforce. And we know that if we look at the skills needed, the human skills needed for today and the future, brain power skills, in which neuro-agility forms the point of departure in developing those brain power skills. But then the other skill set that is going to be crucial for today and the future for us as professionals in the workplace to prosper is to develop the emotional intelligence skill set. And the neuro-agility assessment is a great point of departure to help people, individuals, teams, and leaders create accurate self-awareness. But when it comes to educational development, and we ask ourselves, what is it that the neuro-agility learning solutions and assessments can do for people in the educational industry? When we look at schools, at colleges and universities, wherever we work with people who are still studying further, there is a great contribution that the neuro-agility profile and learning solutions can offer. So professionals in educational organizations will be able to use our NAP solutions in order to develop teachers and lecturers. And here it is essential that educating learning facilitators to understand how elements of neuro-agility affect their learning style and learning transfer, as well as that of their learners, and adapting their style of learning transfer to be inclusive of all learning preferences. So as facilitators of learning, teachers and lecturers need to understand this about themselves in order to increase the effectiveness with which they transfer learning to their learners. But in the educational industry, this assessment, when we understand who we are and we align our subject choices and even career choices with our natural design, we get people who have a very big impact but also become very passionate about doing what they do. When there's alignment between who I am and the job functions that I execute, the career that I have, we have people who really love their jobs, who are passionate about their work, and obviously have so much better and bigger impact in executing those functions. So the neuro-agility learning solutions definitely assist. Although it's not a career assessment, it definitely helps identifying potential and then helping people to make informed choices about subjects and career choices. But obviously, our neuro-agility solutions are very powerful tools to help learners improve their learning results, to accelerate learning, to identify if there's a learning hindrance, and to minimize those learning hindrances by improving their brain fitness, their learning strategies, and their learning skills. So in the educational industry, neuro-agility is a very powerful construct to assist learners to learn faster, easier, and obtain better results. How can neuro-agility help us? In the industry of working with athletes and sports coaches, there's also great value to be added. Very often when athletes are coached, there's a big focus on the physical optimization of the person. But what we have to be cognizant of is that your competitive advantage as an athlete also lies in your ability to outthink, outlearn, and outcreate your competitors. In other words, they need to, at all times, access those thinking modalities necessary in that moment when they compete. So improving the neuro-agility of athletes is crucial. but it also becomes a great instrument in the hands of a coach to understand, in the first place, how does my design influence how I coach, and how does my design impact some of my athletes who may be very different than I am, whose design is very different. Even coaches need to really have accurate understanding about who am I coaching here, and what are the natural gifts and talents of the athletes that I'm working with, and how can I assist them to change that potential and that giftedness into competence. And I truly believe in this day and age that physical optimization of athletes alone, without the mental optimization, is actually going to shorten that athlete's career and the results that they achieve. Because ultimately, it is still how we think when we compete that actually becomes our competitive advantage. And I want to reiterate that a great athlete is someone who has the mental ability and the cognitive flexibility to outthink, outlearn, and outcreate their competition in that moment. But it does start by understanding how uniquely do I think, learn, and create, so that I can understand what is my competitive advantage. Instead of competing with people based on other people's strengths, understand your potential, your unique strengths and talent, and optimize that so that you can be the best version of what it is that you do based on your own unique talents.